Welcome to the Good Ride, where it's not about my pride. It's just about how this board rides. Today, we're talking about the Excavator. This is the 2025 model. Doesn't seem to be changing at all in 2026. And I thought I'd do an updated review because I got on the 150, compared it against the 54, also compared it against the Almanac and the Stranda Biru, two very similar boards. And you can see those in-depth comparisons on Patreon, but I thought I'd share this updated perspective now that I got on the 50 and the 54. And this is a fun short wide for carving, turning. It has pretty good float in powder. It has a very tight turning radius that is really fun for people that like to across the groomer carve and circle carve while not feeling hooky going straight down the line. It has good pop and it has lighter construction, but it's not that ultra poppy, ultra chattery, ultra light ride. And other than a mid-tier base and maybe not the strongest grip out there in harder snow, there isn't much to complain about this ride, and it fits a wide variety of riders. So I rode this with my Nitro Team TLS boots and Union Force primarily. And I got this in some good spring conditions, but in the past, I got the 54 in some pretty good powder, some pretty great groomers, and some spring groomers as well. So really getting to understand this board in all conditions now. And this, of course, is an honest, objective review for you, the consumer. And we can do this thanks to our sponsor, Blauer Board Shop. And Blauer's been around forever, longer than a lot of you riders have been alive. They have a large online presence. So if you want to support honest, objective content, click through our links to Blauer Board Shop and give them your hard-earned cash. We'd greatly appreciate it. So when it comes to sizing, I really felt torn between this 150 and 154. The 154 could feel a little slow and fatiguing in uneven snow or having to turn through tight spots. Conversely, the 150 did great there and was a really fun all-day ride. But in the mornings when the snow was good, I really liked the 54 better. I wish they made a 52. If I was riding all day, I would go to the 50. But if I mainly was just riding this in clean conditions, putting it away and grabbing another board, I'd go 54. This is tapered and directional with a good bit of taper, 20 mil of taper, a very short nose, a very short tail, and a much longer nose. Now let's talk camber profile. You have a mellow camber that doesn't go up too high, but it goes for a good distance. It goes almost to the tail. There seems to be a little bit of early rise before the tail, then a good bit of early rise before this long nose. This is a pretty stable, easy to 1 foot flat base kind of ride that I think would work for intermediates on up to experts as long as it's sized correctly. It doesn't feel super locked in or technical, and it's pretty easy to skid a turn, even though the flex is a little more on the medium stiff side. The camber profile with early rise before the tip and a little bit before the tail allow this to not catch an edge that easy. This is a very consistent ride in all conditions, and the edge hold is pretty good, but it starts to let go a little bit in harder snow and you have to dial back your turns a little bit. If you want a hard snow specialist, there are better rides out there like the GNU Gremlin and even the Stranda Biru. Let's talk Excavator 150 Flex. The 54 is very much the same. Overall, it's got a little more give than you would think between the feet here, but it's still on that medium to medium stiff side. The tail's pretty stiff and the nose is reasonably stiff too. You put that all together and combined, it's a very poppy, energetic flex. And when it comes to getting air, this has pretty good ollie power. I love this construction. It just feels easier to engage an ollie and get air underfoot. It's not bad for a butter. I could butter off the tail okay, and the nose a little better, and play around. It's not really a board I like to ride switch with too much. I like the Almanac a lot better for that. While this wider platform didn't track that well into complicated side hits that had a weird path to get to launch off, it does track well into bigger drops and bigger kickers if you want to launch off something off-piste, you have enough landing gear here in the tail to do so. And this can handle hard uneven snow okay. It can get a little cranky, a little chattery, but powering through soft, uneven snow, this does a great job, especially for a short wide. It doesn't bounce and buck as much as you would think. And while I found the Almanac in a 53 a much more damp, chatter-free ride in all conditions versus the 50 and 54 excavators, these are still very good. And if you size it correctly, it could be a great all-day ride. And when it comes to turn initiation, this 50 felt pretty quick edge to edge for a short wide. Short wides are not the best when it comes to initiating a turn. Where they really shine is once you get the edge committed and you engage this deeper side cut, then it turns a tighter, quicker radius because of its size. The 54 was slower to me because of my size 9 boots, but this 50 was pretty quick. And when I got it on edge, it had more of a balanced turning radius than I thought it would be for having such a deep entry into the side cut. Although it is a little more relaxed and mellow coming out of the side cut, I really found that this shine for across the groomer carves and circle carves, it likes a little more back foot weight throughout the turns. And there's pretty good spring out of the turns, although I found that there are some poppier, more dynamic boards out there with more camber that drive through a turn better, but this is still far from being a slouch and does a great job with the overall turning experience. And if you want to make more longer, drawn out turns, this can work, and it's not bad for a straight line. I thought this side cut would fight the straight line a little more, like the Ride Seeker does, but it doesn't. It tracks pretty well. So if you want to pick up some speed and go straight, this isn't bad. You might like the Alchemist a little better because of the length, its stiffer flex, and a more straight line friendly side cut. But for a short wide, this is pretty competent at speed. Then when it comes to the base, while I find the wax absorption pretty good, I felt the glide is mid-tier, and there are a lot of faster bases in this price range when looking at other competitors. When it comes to powder, I thought this floated very well for a short wide. And while this isn't the best board, if this is going to be used primarily for powder, it's good for doing a little bit of both, groomers and powder. It's got pretty good, easy directional float. So overall, this K2 Excavator was a fun ride before and still is a fun ride now. It's very recommendable. It works for a wide variety of riders that just want to do a little bit of everything, but want a more tapered, directional short wide that's set back, but not super set back and feeling completely snow surfy where you're riding really close to the tail. It's a board I often recommend and will continue to do so